Have you ever seriously thought about what would happen if you just stopped sleeping? I mean, no naps, no nothing, just being awake forever. You think, wow, I could get so much done. But the reality? Well, it's a whole lot stranger and honestly, a lot scarier than that. So let's get into it.
What we're going to do is go on this little journey together. We're going to look at what happens to your body and your brain as the hours start to tick by. 24 hours, 48 hours, even a full 72 hours with zero sleep. It's a fascinating and yeah, a kind of terrifying timeline.
Okay, but before we dive into the deep end, we've got to understand why we even need to sleep. And here's the thing. Sleep isn't just about feeling less tired. It's not a luxury. It is a core biological program. It's literally a survival function. Think about it like this. Every single night, your brain turns into this amazing cleaning crew. It gets in there and clears out all this metabolic junk that builds up during the day. We're talking about stuff like beta amyloid, which is linked to Alzheimer's. While that's happening, your body is busy repairing tissues and muscles. And on top of all that, it's busy strengthening memories, basically saving all the important files from the day. If you skip that maintenance, things start to go wrong, and they go wrong fast.
And, a huge part of this nightly repair shop happens during what's called REM sleep. This is that super deep restorative stage where the real magic happens. It's absolutely crucial for your brain's health and for locking in memories. So when you skip sleep, you're not just staying awake, you're skipping this essential repair cycle.
All right, it's time for the main event. We're going to start the clock on a 72-hour journey with no sleep. This is where we get to see the slow motion breakdown, from just feeling a little groggy to completely losing your grip. So here's our roadmap for the next 3 days. At 24 hours, it feels kind of like you've had a few drinks. By 48 hours, you're wading through a thick mental fog. And by the 72-hour mark, well, that's when you start to lose touch with what's even real. Let's break down each stage.
Okay, so you did it. You pulled an all-nighter. After just 24 hours, the impact on your brain is pretty much the same as having a blood alcohol level of 0.10%. Now think about that for a second. That's legally intoxicated. You would never get behind the wheel of a car feeling like that, but so many of us try to work or study in that state.
And what does that intoxication feel like? Well, your ability to focus just tanks, your reaction time slows way down, emotionally you get super irritable, your mood is all over the place, and trying to concentrate on even a simple task feels impossible.
Now we're at 48 hours, and this is where things get really weird. Your brain is so desperate for rest that it starts to just take it. This is when you can start having micro-sleeps. These are these tiny, involuntary moments where your brain just shuts down for a few seconds. You could be talking, and then for a split second, you're out. You won't even realize it happened. It's a huge red flag that your system is way past its breaking point.
3 full days. 72 hours without a single minute of sleep. At this point, your brain is just overloaded. It's swimming in that waste we talked about, and it hasn't had any time to repair itself. So it can't process the world around you correctly anymore. This is where your perception of reality itself just starts to crack.
And that breakdown looks like severe confusion. You can't keep a thought straight. Anxiety can shoot through the roof. But the most alarming part? You can start to have full-on hallucinations, seeing things, hearing things that are not there. Your brain basically gives up on reality and starts inventing its own.
So this obviously leads to the big one, the ultimate question. If you just keep pushing, can this actually kill you? It's a pretty terrifying thought. Let's see what the science actually says.
So here's the deal. There is an incredibly rare genetic disorder called fatal familial insomnia, where people literally lose the ability to sleep, and yes, it is eventually fatal. But for almost everyone else on the planet, your body has a built-in failsafe. Long before you could ever reach a truly fatal point, your brain will override your willpower and just force a shutdown.
So what is this amazing fail-safe? How does your body just take over and force you to sleep? Well, it all comes down to this brilliant biological clock that you just can't argue with forever. This master controller is called your circadian rhythm. Just think of it like an internal 24-hour clock that's running the show. It tells you when to feel awake and when to feel sleepy. It's a powerful, ancient system, and trust me, trying to fight it is a battle you will always lose.
And the main tool that this clock uses is a hormone called melatonin. As it gets dark outside, your brain starts pumping out melatonin, and that sends a powerful signal to every cell in your body that basically says, okay, everyone, it's time to shut down for maintenance. The longer you fight it, the stronger that signal gets, until you just can't ignore it anymore.
So if our bodies have this whole system built to make us sleep, why on earth are we so good at ignoring it? Well, the reasons are probably pretty familiar to you, right? Intense pressure from work, cramming for exams, or just falling down a rabbit hole of videos and social media late at night. But here's the crazy irony. We skip sleep to be more productive, but that's the very first thing that sleep deprivation destroys. Fighting your own biology has a massive cost. Your productivity plummets, it's terrible for your long-term health, and you're just left feeling completely burned out. The trade-off is just never, ever worth it.
If you take one thing away from all of this, let it be this: sleep is not an optional extra. It's not a luxury you can afford to cut back on. It is a non-negotiable biological necessity. It's right up there with air, food, and water.
So, that leaves me with one final question for you. Thinking about everything we just talked about, what's the longest you've ever pushed it? How long have you ever stayed awake? And more importantly, how did you feel? Because now you know exactly what was going on inside your brain.